Yes, my girlfriend was involved in an accident where she was hitting the rear while she was stopped at a stop sign. This happened 20 months ago. We got an attorney, soon, just a few days after the accident. But it's dragged on for about 20 months, and I'm just wondering, is there a statute of limitations on having a case settled before it just gets null and void or something?
Such a great question.
Yes. JD, were you able to hear that question okay?
Yes, I was. Well, you have 2 years from the date of the accident to file the lawsuit. As long as the lawsuit's filed within that 2 years, you don't have to settle your case within that 2 years. You just have to file the lawsuit within that 2-year time period.
And in a situation like that, JD, I know he mentioned 20 months, so they're coming up against that deadline. What could take so long that it hasn't been filed yet? Can you say?
Well, number one, the court system right now is so backed up because of COVID. Number two, you have to get to a point where what we call MMI, which is maximum medical improvement, where your client, as the attorney, you get to make sure that that person has completed their treatment or has gotten to the point where they're either completely recovered from their injuries or as well as they're ever going to be. If you try to sell your case prior to getting to that point, then you may be leaving some money on the table. So I always tell my clients to be patient. This is not a short process. It takes a long time. And like I said, especially now with COVID, where the court systems were basically shut down for several months, they're backlogged, they're not getting cases tried. So that's putting the insurance companies in a position where they're not paying claims as quickly as they were pre-COVID.
So I'm curious, Kirby, let me ask you this. In light of that, will any exceptions be given because of COVID, do you think, or not necessarily?
Not on the statute of limitations.
Okay.
The court system has worked really hand in hand with attorneys in getting through this.
Okay.
The court system has been, just fantastic.
Okay.
And the people running our court system here in Jefferson County have been, just great.
Okay.
As far as the statute of limitations goes, you won't get any relief from that.
Okay.
Nothing can be done to help your case once that statute runs.
So would you just advise James to go ahead and have a real serious conversation with his attorney at this point?
Yeah, I would try to go in, especially with the restrictions that have been lifted recently. I would try to go in and sit down with my lawyer and let him explain what's been going on, or her explain what's been going on with the case, and I'm sure there's some very valid reasons that that's been going on 20 months.
Awesome. Well, I know again that time is coming up, so James, really appreciate your question.